Valentine's Day is extended. Savings Sparkle Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Dulles Expo Center.
Good morning, America. New developments in that deadly school rampage, but we're now learning about the 17 victims, a swimmer preparing for college, and the hero football coach who acted as a human shield. Plus, new details about the shooter, claiming he heard voices in his head, and questions about missed warning signs as thousands gather for vigils, remembering the 17 who lost their lives.
The bombshell new report about President Trump and the Playboy Playmate. Her claims of an affair shortly after his son Barron was born. The reporter who broke the story is here live on GMA.
Stunning split. Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux announcing they're separating after 2.5 years of marriage. Their message about their future this morning.
And Team USA feeling agony on the slopes. Two top athletes missing medals, but America seeing huge success on the rink. The young competitor making history with this move, and Anna Rippon dazzling the crowd, now in striking distance of a medal.
I'm Adam Rippon. Good morning, America!
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And we do say good morning, America, and what a week. It's good to have you back,
Good
George, from Florida, where that community remembering the lives of those lost in the school shooting.
Community hit so hard, surprised, even shocked by what happened. And last night you saw them. Thousands coming together for those vigils. And then 17 balloons released, one for each of the victims.
This morning, the accused gunman Nicholas Cruz is behind bars. He appeared shackled before a judge for the first time on Thursday, and we're now learning more about those 17 victims, students, and the adults who died trying to protect them. ABC's Victor Oquendo starts us off in Parkland, Florida. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Michael. That vigil was incredibly emotional. Thousands of people coming together, bringing flowers, balloons, and candles to show that there is still light here in Parkland. And this morning, we have a clear timeline of the horrible attack that happened at the school right here behind me. This morning, new details emerging about those 17 victims as police reveal a detailed timeline of how Wednesday's horror unfolded. Police say Nicholas Cruz took an Uber to the school at 2:19 p.m. just as the teachers and students were getting ready for dismissal, carrying his rifle in a black soft case. Chris McKenna, a freshman, says he came face-to-face with Cruz as he was loading his weapon. The gunman allegedly told him, "You better get out of here. Things are going to start to get messy." McKenna ran outside and told assistant football coach Aaron Fies, who said he would go check it out. Fies was later killed during Cruz's rampage. Cruz fired into 5 classrooms, then dropped the gun and ran out to the door.
The suspect crossed fields and ran west, along with others who were fleeing, and tried to mix in with the group that were running away, fearing for their lives.
Police say Cruz then went to a nearby Walmart where he bought a drink at Subway, then sat down at a McDonald's. But he wasn't apprehended until almost an hour after the shooting when Coconut Creek patrol officer Michael Leonard noticed a teenager who matched the description from the school's security cameras walking on a quiet street.
He complied with my commands and was taken into custody.
Overnight, thousands gathered for an emotional vigil, many of the survivors sharing hugs and stories about lost classmates. Matt Nima and Daniela Menescal were hiding in a first-floor classroom when the gunman broke the door's window and started shooting. One of the bullets ricocheting off a wall, hitting Daniela in the leg. 2 of their classmates shot and killed.
What can you tell us about them?
They were always fun. And
they were just nice people.
They always made us smile and we're always laughing.
Our David Muir also sitting down with a group of students.
How many of you know someone who did not get out alive?
Like senior Nicholas Dwarent, who had his sights set on the University of Indianapolis.
He was actually he was on the national team for swimming. He committed to the University of Indianapolis a couple, 2 weeks before this happened. Great classmate, great person, always so nice.
And Joaquin Oliver, who just became a U.S. citizen last year. Lori Al-Hadef lost her 14-year-old daughter, Alyssa. Her emotions also still so raw.
President Trump, you say, what can you do? You can stop
Liam Kiernan hid in a band room with 60 other students, only to emerge and learn his friend Gina Montalto had died.
We sat together in Spanish class, and now she's going to be an empty desk. She's going to be an empty desk now. She's not going to be here anymore.
Florida Senators Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio will be in Parkland today, and later this morning, more people are expected to gather at the same park where the vigil was held. That's where grief counselors are being made available. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Victor. Robin.
Okay, there was a powerful moment at the vigil last night. Chicago Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo, who graduated from that high school in 2007, addressed the crowd.
I grew up in Stoneman Douglas. I played on those fields. I went to those classes. I want you to know that you're not alone in your grief. We're all grieving with you.
We all are. And the vigil ended with a special request for everyone to write down an act of good they would do in the days ahead. George?
One way for everybody to come together there. There are questions growing also about the warning signs missed. People who knew the 19-year-old shooter say he had a troubled past and disturbing social media posts. Our chief national correspondent Tom Yamas is in Fort Lauderdale. And Tom, there's focus now on a tip to the FBI.
That's right, George. There was a tip to the FBI, and it involved social media, but the agency says they did not have enough information at the time. Now, regardless of that, we've been digging into Nikolas Cruz's background, and what we've been told is about a long struggle with mental illness and a history of violence. This morning, authorities describing the mind of alleged shooter Nikolas Cruz as warped and possibly demented. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News the 19-year-old gunman told investigators he heard voices in his head directing him to conduct the attack. And according to the arrest affidavit, Cruz allegedly confessed to the killings after being taken into custody. Cruz's lawyers say he was battling mental illness recently, magnified by the passing of his mother, who died from the flu. Overnight, a family friend telling ABC News Linda Cruz was devoted to Nikolas and his little brother.
She never did anything. She never went anywhere. She was always with her children, every single day, every minute. So I don't understand how this tragedy happened.
But in the neighborhood where the alleged gunman grew up, memories of strange behavior since he was a boy.
Do you remember him doing anything in the neighborhood that was strange?
Yeah, he shot at chickens across. He used to have a little pellet gun, and he shot at chickens across in the back there.
He like cornered a squirrel and was like pegging like rocks at it, like trying to kill it. Like it was just weird. Like a kid that young was like
so you're saying
animal.
ABC affiliate WPLG reports Cruz was expelled from the high school on February 8th last year. 3 days later, he legally bought the AR-15 at this gun store, less than 10 miles from the school. Yesterday led into court with his ankles and wrists in cuffs.
Are you Nikolas Jacob Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. You are charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder.
His defense team says he's on suicide watch at the jail.
This is a loss for this community, a tragic loss of 17 children.
The horror of it all, too much for one of Cruz's defense lawyers. The assistant public defender getting emotional during a news conference and walking away to compose himself.
This young man is deeply disturbed, emotionally broken.
The disturbed nature seems apparent from his social media activity. Sources tell ABC News that this Instagram account belongs to the suspect. In one photo, he's seen holding a pistol. And there were other signs of trouble. In September, video blogger Ben Benite saw a comment on his YouTube page. A commenter with the name Nikolas Cruz posting, "I'm gonna be a professional school shooter."
Thought that to be odd and disturbing, so I forwarded that screenshot to the FBI and reported it to YouTube.
The FBI looked into the post but couldn't track down Cruz. Now, as far as Cruz's mental state, sources have told us he was in therapy at one point. Family friends have told us he did take medication at one point. But by all accounts, when his mother died, George, he went into a free fall of darkness. George?
As his defender said, emotionally broken. Okay, thanks, Tom. We have our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, here right now. So many signs that this young man mentally ill. You could almost argue it's by definition in a case like this, but that doesn't mean an insanity defense can succeed.
That's right. Just having been in therapy, having even a documented history of significant mental illness wouldn't necessarily be enough to win an insanity defense. We saw this in the Aurora, Colorado shooting in that movie theater. James Holmes, in that case, was mentally ill. There's no question about it. And yet, he did not succeed in his defense of insanity.
So why? What is the
You
standard?
have to be able to show that effectively you didn't understand what you were doing was wrong. And the problem is, any bit of premeditation, any bit of thought as to how you would go about committing the crime, about, for example, him running away with the other kids, all shows that he knew what he did was wrong in some way.
He was killing people.
That's right, in some way, shape, or form. So people out there, I think people sort of get really concerned about the insanity defense and, oh, this person's going to get off. It almost never succeeds these days, particularly in a case like this where you have multiple victims, you have someone who prepared for it, you have someone who tried to escape with the rest of the people. This is going to be an almost impossible insanity defense if that's what he pursues.
Then it raises the question of the death penalty, Florida death penalty state.
I don't think there's any question he's going to face the death penalty, and that's where this could help. The fact, if a jury believes he had significant mental illness, they won't find him not guilty. He'll still be found guilty, but it is possible that he could avoid the death penalty because of mental illness.
It would come in a much later stage.
That's right. It would be a separate phase of the case where the jury would make a recommendation to the judge as to death or not death. You'd have to have a unanimous verdict. And if they do recommend unanimously death, then the judge has the final word.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much.
And of course, many are talking about what happened, and Jimmy Kimmel addressed the shooting in an emotional monologue on his show last night. He has been outspoken about gun violence since that mass murder in his hometown of Las Vegas. Overnight, Kimmel called out lawmakers for not acting.
Now, and don't you dare let anyone say it's too soon to be talking about it, because he said it after Vegas, he said it after Sandy Hook, you say that after every one of these 8 now fatal school shootings we had in this country this year. Children are being murdered. And
You heard someone yelling out, "Do something now," and it seems you can't even get lawmakers to utter the words gun control.
Well, not President Trump yesterday. Kimmel, of course, spoke after President Trump addressed the nation yesterday afternoon, and as you said, Robin, the president did not mention guns.
Our entire nation, with one heavy heart, is praying for the victims and their families. To every parent, teacher, and child who is hurting so badly, we are here for you.
Let's bring in our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega. And Cecilia, what you saw there from the president, a pattern we've now seen several times after shootings like this.
Yeah, George, no mention of guns in the speech. He also did not answer a shouted question after he was done speaking about whether it's time to act on gun laws. Just as you, Jimmy Kimmel, were saying, this is a pattern that we've seen in the wake of past shootings. The president has said it's too soon, while an investigation is going on, to talk about gun control. Look, we are hearing now just gut-wrenching calls for action from there in Parkland, Florida. Many in that community say it is absolutely time to act, including the Broward County Sheriff down there, Scott Israel. Take a listen to what he just said overnight at that vigil.
If you're an elected official and you want to keep things the way they are and not do things differently, if you want to keep the gun laws as they are now, you will not get reelected in Broward County.
So from the sheriff there, we are hearing the same thing from parents. We are hearing the same thing from students who witnessed this violence there. The reaction here in Washington among Republicans right now is gun control at this point is a non-starter. President Trump says, you see him there on that speech, he said he'll be focused on mental illness and mental health. One of the questions this White House, George, is sure to face in the days going forward is why then the president rolled back an Obama-era rule that made it tougher for the mentally ill to get their hands on guns.
And the president could face those questions if he visits Parkland. There's been some talk of that perhaps over the weekend.
He could be going there, George, as soon as this weekend. The White House is planning a presidential trip to Parkland, and you know Mar-a-Lago, his resort there, is just 40 miles away from where that shooting happened.
Okay, Cecilia Vega, thanks very much. Michael?
Thank you, George. And now we're going to switch gears to another big story of the morning, the Olympics. Figure skater Adam Rippon off to an incredible start in the individual event, but 2 women eyeing gold also did fall a little short. Amy is in South Korea with all the latest. Good morning, Amy.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. Good morning, everyone. It was a tough day on the slopes for the U.S. here in Pyeongchang. Several athletes expected to medal, failing to make it to that podium stand. But the bright spot was on the ice, with Team USA's youngest athlete making Olympic history. The United States gliding into the record books in men's figure skating short program. Team USA's youngest competitor, Vincent Zhou, cleanly executing this quad lutz to a triple toe loop. Oh, there it was, clean. The 17-year-old is now the first ever to land this tricky move in Winter Olympics history. Boom, holds on to that. And fan favorite Adam Rippon igniting the crowd with this dazzling routine, ending his performance on the ice with a roaring ovation. But there was heartbreak on the mountain for Team USA.
Lindsay Jacobellis trying to hold on for bronze.
Four-time Olympian Lindsay Jacobellis placing fourth after this dramatic finish in snowboard cross, missing her shot at her first medal since 2006 when she won silver in her Olympic debut. And Michaela Schifrin fresh off a thrilling victory in the giant slalom.
You know there's nerves, there's always going to be. This is the Olympics.
Feeling extremely sick just moments before speeding into her first run. Feeling the frustration of coming in fourth.
Michaela Schifrin looking for another gold. No!
Just 0.08 seconds shy of medaling for Team USA in the women's slalom. Michaela, truly having won her gold yesterday, knows the thrill of the victory, and then today the agony of defeat.
Fourth place is a tough pill to swallow. At the Olympics, that's just got to be hard. But she already has 2 golds in her pocket, and I expect a couple more medals to come.
But Schifrin says she's not done continuing her quest for gold, taking a break to recharge, skipping out on Saturday's Super G race to rest and prep before next week's Alpine combined and downhill events. And speaking of taking a break, one of Schifrin's favorite things to do, nap. And guess what? She even does it in the middle of competitions. In fact, before she won gold in her first event here in Pyeongchang, she says she took a power nap between her runs. She says it's a ritual. She puts on her headphones and just falls asleep. She says she does it in every race as a way to recharge. I wish I had that skill, but
whatever works. Wish you had that time.
Exactly.
That'd be great. Thank you so much, Amy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and speaking of time, 0.08, less than a second to miss out.
Yeah.
Wow. Now to Rob with the storm coming to the east this weekend, Rob.
That's right, Rob. We've got a couple of storms, and this is part of the one that's coming towards the east. Castle Rock, Colorado, there, I-25, a little bit of snow there. They got over 18 inches across much of the mountainous areas. And this is the other storm ahead of that, the damage in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, south of Pittsburgh. Over 60-mile-an-hour winds there, collapsing this building. Flood watch is still posted there for heavy rains today. But look at this. Winter storm watch is posted for parts of the Northeast, north of Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. The snows will start tomorrow afternoon, get into overnight tomorrow night, and be done by Sunday morning, but could see 3 to 7 inches northwest of the I-95 corridor. We'll be tracking that clearly over the weekend. Time now for your weekend getaways, brought to you by CarMax.
Acronyms are fun. LOL, laugh out loud, BTW, by the way, and of course, WABC Sadibo. We'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours.
Hey, what if I wanted to sell my car?
WABC Sadibo.
WABC Sadibo?
We'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours.
WABC Sadibo.
WABC Sadibo.
WABC Sadibo.
WABC Sadibo.
WABC
Sadibo. WABC Sadibo.
No, we cool. I got you.
It's the right thing to do.
Still like spring today, but then winter tomorrow, and that does include a little bit of snow falling. For today, some showers. They'll wrap up about noon to 2 o'clock. Tomorrow's snow wintry event will start about 3 p.m. in the afternoon and continue till midnight. We'll pick up about a trace to some lighter snowfall amounts with that. Could lead to some slick spots on area roads by Sunday morning. The high, though, 50 degrees, so a lot of that will be melting. So it's really non-pavement surfaces that will pick up the trace to 2 inches.
We often talk about embracing the elements. Check out Penny in Breckenridge, Colorado, one of my favorites. Pups. She gets in there and just enjoys that fresh powder. So that's what you should think about Sunday morning if you're waking up to that snow.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Thanks so much. Coming up, we have the incredible football coach, husband, father who sacrificed his life to save students during that shooting.
And a new bombshell report in the New Yorker, President Trump and the Playboy centerfold.
no longer live with